Hiya, everyone. My name's Avery. I'm 24, and I've gone through so much weight gain that I felt like I was living on a roller coaster. First, I was crazy thin and could eat anything, but then I plumped up like that blueberry brat from the chocolate factory. But my story doesn't stop there. I kept eating and eating. Right now, while I'm writing this, I'm thinking about Arby's. Eventually, I found the perfect weight, and I'll tell you my secret later. But first, I have to say that I have always had a monstrous appetite. But I was still crazy skinny. I'm serious, I could eat cheeseburgers for breakfast and wouldn't gain an ounce of fat to save my life. One day, everything changed. It was all on account of this boy that I had a crush on. His name was Jeffery, and he was so cute. I had my friend tell his friend to ask him if he wanted to maybe go together or something. Well, he told his buddy to tell my friend to tell me that I wasn't his type. I didn't know what he meant, but word was he didn't like my body type. I was too skinny for him. I guess I started to think I needed to adjust myself and try a little weight gain, and I traded my jogging shoes for the TV remote. I enjoyed letting myself go a little bit. I didn't scrimp on the sweets, and about the time I hit my target weight, I secretly imagined that Jeffrey was falling in love with me from afar, and he regretted passing up an opportunity to be with me. I saw him staring at me at the lunchroom one day, and I thought it was just a matter of time before Cupid would be shooting arrows at us. So I went to sit next to him. I was trying to flirt with him, but it turned into a train wreck. I was finishing some pudding when I approached him. I didn't think anything of it because we were in the lunchroom and everyone was eating. I asked Jeffrey if my body was his type now, and he turned into a jerk in a flash. "No way, gross," he said. "How many times do you have to hear it? Nobody likes your body." And then he started playing oink sounds from his phone, and I suddenly realized that everybody was watching and laughing. Sweat was dripping from my forehead, and my throat dried up like the desert. "Don't cry. Don't cry. Whatever you do, don't cry," I told myself. But here was my super crush, the guy I used to think was so cute, and now he was my bully. It was the most humiliating experience, and people called me Piggy for the next 4 years. Strangely, I began eating more. I just couldn't seem to fill myself up. By the time I graduated high school, I was voted most likely to eat a bus. Or at least that's what somebody wrote in my yearbook when I wasn't looking. I ended up going to therapy, but I still couldn't find a balance. Instead of losing healthy weight, I went bananas for fitness and diet. I shopped for the highest quality foods and started a yoga routine. Secretly, I knew that skinny girl was inside somewhere hiding. I was going to bring her out. I was going to show everyone in high school what my type was. I was the type that never gives up, the type that becomes the hottest Insta model you've ever seen. If I wasn't doing yoga or perfecting my diet, I was reading up on how the modeling industry works. And I developed contacts and started offering free modeling to photographer friends I was making. My best friend these days was a fashion designer named Pilar who let me keep some of her original designs. It was fun playing dress up, and I made sure to get professional advice before starting my account. Originally, I wanted everybody from high school to see my pictures online. But as I got popular, I became plagued with the need for praise and craved attention. Soon, all kinds of people paid me to model clothes, and I was gaining followers by the hour. I was like a legit Insta model. In fact, all my friends were models or fashion designers. One day we were all out to eat, which really meant ordering side salads and sucking on ice cubes. And we saw this heavy girl ordering way too much food. The other models were making fun of her, but I couldn't help but think about my old self. Now that I was a skinny supermodel, I knew deep down that I was this fat kid at heart. The worst part was I didn't say anything. I just let those girls snicker at her. The truth is, being a model confronted me with this huge superficial side of life, and I had a hard time relating to guys. Most couldn't see past my looks, so I started dating anonymously online, and I ended up meeting a really special guy, Jim. It started with a few messages, and then we traded phone numbers and texted constantly. In the evenings, we'd talk on the phone, and it was nice to have a relationship without my body being part of it. But it didn't last long because Jim confessed to me that he was dying to meet me in person. It made me nervous, but I really liked Jim and figured we would have to meet up at some point. When he saw me, he said that I was more beautiful than he imagined, and I told him that I was a model. I think it intimidated him because he kept tugging down his shirt tail and folding his arms around his gut. I never really dated a heavy guy before, but I remembered that our relationship was never about looks. And I chose to lose the superficiality. Besides, we got along like we had known each other for years. I wondered what my model friends would say. All their boyfriends were about as photogenic as they were. If they didn't have a movie star face and abs, they were super rich. I knew I could never introduce Jim. Meanwhile, sparks were flying and I didn't want to lose him. I worried about the day Jim wanted to meet my friends, and one day Jim said he had a confession. There's something you don't know about me. My name's not Jim, it's Jeffery. Suddenly, everything clicked, and I knew why he seemed familiar. He was my old high school bully, but he put on so much weight, I didn't recognize him. All my old resentment and anger started boiling under the surface, and I was growing red with rage. Who's the piggy now, I thought. I was so upset, I could barely listen to his explanation. He didn't know it was me when we were talking online and stuff, but he recognized me when we met up. But he had grown to like me and didn't want to lose me. I pretended to have a headache and left. I couldn't concentrate on anything but getting revenge. That night, before I fell asleep, I thought up the perfect plan to get him back. The next day, I called him and invited him to join me on a photo shoot. When we got there, I told him to wait for me by the catering table. I knew before long my snobby model friends would be asking Jeffery who he was. And when I arrived, I knew they would call him out. Sure enough, it worked. As soon as I showed up to the table, Pilar said, "This guy here says he's your boyfriend." And that was the moment I used Jeffrey's own words to smash him right in the face. No way, gross. And I even called him a piggy and made oinking sounds. I even recorded it so I could spread it around online. I wanted our old class to know who the piggy was now, but something strange happened. Everybody hated it, and they thought I was the jerk. People were calling me a fat shamer, and soon I was losing followers on Instagram. Nobody was paying me to model, and even my friends stopped hanging around. Pilar said it was bad press, so she would have to find somebody else to model her new designs. I found myself at the grocery store in the candy aisle, eating everything. I gained back all the weight. In an instant, my whole life was over, and I was sent hurtling onto a crater-sized depression. But I simply couldn't stop eating, and I lost complete control. Just when I thought I was going to be done in by a gumball, I woke up from the dream. I checked my phone and saw that I hadn't lost any followers. I dreamt the entire revenge of my bully boyfriend. And thank goodness I never really fat-shamed him because I learned a really valuable lesson. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Just because Jeffery bullied me in the past doesn't give me the right to do the same thing to him. But I still had to tell Jeffery how much he hurt me if we were going to have any kind of future together. I stopped by his place the next day and I told him all about my revenge dream and how it turned into a nightmare. I told him how much I wanted to hurt him. He was confused, and when I reminded him of all the bullying, he barely remembered it. It's funny how some events can be huge for one person, but tiny for another. Now that Jeffery was heavy, he really felt bad about how he had treated me, and when he apologized, I knew it was sincere. Together, we found a way to find the perfect balance with our relationship and our bodies. Now, if I hear anybody doing any fat shaming, I'm the first to speak up. Have you ever wanted to get back at somebody who did you wrong? Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden wisdom stories. Remember, when you share our stories, you're sharing wisdom.